Okay, so please go to chapter 6. Last week, we talked about two issues. Okay? Yes. It's okay right now? So, it's okay right now? We have to finish the... you just need 1 minute? One case? Okay, so maybe during the break. So I think it's okay so far because we still have some contents have to finish today. You know, next week is the final exam. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Today we just finished 3 methods. Then we almost done chapter 6. Last year, we've mentioned 2 issues. Remember? What are these 2 issues? We use these 2 issues to determine the quantities. Is yours inventory or not, right? So these 2 issues, goods in transit, 在途存货. So what does it mean? It means the inventory is on the way, right? So it's not on seller's company, it's not on buyer's company, it's on the way. So for goods in transit, 在途存货 is yours or is other companies. Depends on FOB shipping point, FOB destination, right? FOB shipping point told you it's buyers. FOB destination told you there's sellers. Okay, so that's the first issue. Second issue, what's that? For consigned goods. Consigned goods belong to whom? Belong to consignor, right? Okay, so consigned goods, we put it in other companies, but the ownership belong to consignor. Okay, so there's 2 issues we talk about quantities. There's yours or other companies. Today, we want to talk about 3 methods. These 3 methods, we use it to determine the unit cost. Okay. After that, so that's the that's the key problems we want to talk about today. These 3 methods, we use it to determine the unit cost. Okay? So you can go to slide on page 18. Slide on page 18. How to determine unit cost? In other words, how to determine the cost of inventory. We talked about that at the beginning of chapter 5, right? How to determine your cost of inventory. When you buy the inventory, how to determine it? 1 plus 2, right? So when you purchase inventory, how to determine unit cost? Unit cost means cost of inventory for 1 unit. How to determine cost of inventory? 1 plus 2, right? So what's 1? Purchase price. What's 2? Make it ready for sale, right? So how to determine it? 1 plus 2. 1 is here, purchase price. What's the 2? Make it ready for sales. So including sales tax, including freight cost, right? Okay, we talked about that in chapter 5. How to determine your cost of inventory, 1 plus 2 for 1 unit. So no problem for you. So what's the problem? When you buy 1 unit, how to determine it? 1 plus 2. But every time when you buy the inventory, their unit cost always the same. Their cost of inventory for 1 unit, every time when you buy inventory, always the same price? No, sometimes if today you buy the coffee, maybe $20. Next 2 days, you buy the coffee, maybe $30, right? So the problem is when we buy the when we buy the inventory, sometimes unit cost 1 plus 2, they are not the same, okay? So for example, next slide. Here, when you buy inventory on different dates, first day, second day, third date, sometimes you will find out when you buy one unit at different cost. Why? Because for companies, the price, they change always, right? So when you buy it, the unit cost is 1 plus 2. After 1 plus 2, you find out $10, $12, $30. The unit cost is different at different dates. Okay? When you buy 3 units at different dates, you find out the unit costs are different. So what's the problem? The problem is when we are going to sell the unit, when we are going to sell the inventory, 1 unit, for this case, when you are going to sell 1 unit, could you tell me which unit was sold? You purchased 3 units, right? Which unit was sold? Because at different dates, they have different unit cost. So could you tell me which date, which unit? For most of cases, you don't know it. So the problem today we want to talk about is when we sell inventory, for 1 unit, most of cases, we don't know which unit was sold. For example, Janet, when you go to family market, convenience store, 7-Eleven, you buy the drink. You pick the drink from the first one, in the middle, last one. Last one, why? Because of the day, right? Expired day is longer. How about Chelsea? When you buy the drink, you pick from the first one, second one, last one, in the middle. In the middle. See? So what's the problem? The problem is when buyer try to buy inventories, they pick at different order, right? So for 7-Eleven, for family convenience store, whether the sellers knew which one was sold. Most of cases, for 7-Eleven, for family convenience store, they don't know which one was sold. Okay? So what's the problem? The problem is for sellers, which one was sold. In most of cases, they don't know it. So that's why today we have 3 methods. We use these 3 methods to determine which one was sold. Okay? So that's our point right here. We use 3 methods trying to figure out which one was sold. Because in reality life, we don't know which one was sold. So let's look at these 3 methods. Using different methods to determine which one was sold. Why? Because they have a different unit cost. Okay? So let's go to next slide on page 20. How to determine which one was sold? We have 3 methods. First one, specific identification, 个别辨认法. Second method, FIFO, first in, first out. First in, first out, 先进先出法. First in, first out, 先进先出法. First in, first out. Third method, weighted average cost, 加权平均法. How about last one? Last one, for some companies, for some countries, like companies in Europe, like Taiwan, we are not allowed to use last one. Okay? So For last methods, many companies in Europe, many companies in other countries, including Taiwan, are not allowed to use last one. Okay, so here FIFO means accounting standards. FIFO is one of accounting standards in Europe, Taiwan, or some countries. Okay, so for companies in Europe, companies in Taiwan, also other countries, we are not allowed to use the last one, LIFO. But if you are the company in US, you are allowed to use it. So last method is for companies in USA. Okay, so that's why today we just mentioned the first three methods. We skip the last one. But if you understand the first three methods, the same logic, you will know how to use the last method. Okay? So let's look at the first method, specific identification, 个别辨认法. So what does that mean? Specific identification means you really knew which one was sold. You know the true situation. You know the actual situation. So specific identification, you really know which one was sold, which one still in your company. Okay? So this method, you knew true situation. Okay? So you really knew which one was sold, which one still in your company. Okay? But you know, it's a rare case because most of cases it's impossible to know true situation. So like a family convenience store, like a 7-Eleven, for them it's impossible to know which one was sold. Impossible. So this method, specific identification, only for rare case, only for some cases, like what kind of products, what kind of inventory, we will know which one was sold. The cheaper product or the very expensive products. Very, very expensive products, right? Like what? Tiffany. Tiffany sell the diamond, right? Each diamond, they are different. So for Tiffany companies, of course, they will know which diamond was sold, which one still in company, right? Okay, so only for some inventories, there are limited unit with high unit cost. Only for this kind of inventory, you will know which one was sold, which one still in your company. Okay, so only for limited and high unit cost inventory products, only for this case, we will know. Others, impossible. Like a diamond, like a BMW, or BMW, also BMW, we don't know it, you know. Even for BMW, even though it's expensive, but for BMW, it's impossible to know which car was sold, right? So only for really, really special case, like a diamond, like a maybe house, you know which building was sold, right? Only for this kind of case. Others, impossible. Okay? So that's why only for special case. That's why this method is practice is relative rare. So that's for rare case. Okay? Any questions? So let's look at the case right here. on slide page 23. Slide page 23. Here told you purchase 3 inventory. You have a 3 unit. So you buy 3 unit at a different date, right? So first unit you purchase on February 3rd. Second unit you purchase on March 5th. Third unit you purchase on May 22nd, right? At different unit cost. Different unit cost. After you have 3 units, later on when we sell it, you just sell 2 TVs. So could you tell me which TV you sold to customers? You sold 2 TV on June 1st. For specific identification, 个别辨认法, do you know which one was sold? Yes, okay? Here we told you which one. 2 TV you sold to customers from February 3rd, from May 22nd, okay? So which means you sold this one from February 3rd, from May 22nd you sold, okay? Could you use that to get your cost of goods sold, to get your cost of ending inventory? Yes, right? These 2 TV you sold, you could use this one and that one to get your cost of goods sold. How about in the middle? The second one, unsold, right? So the second one, unsold, will be your ending inventory still in your company, right? Okay, so this first method, specific identification, we will tell you which one was sold, which one still in your company. But you should understand there's a rare case. Most of cases, it's impossible to use this method, specific identification. Identification, 个别辨认法. Most of cases, it's impossible to use this method. Okay? So let's look at the other 2 methods for most of cases. So go to slide on page 25. On page 25, we look at the other 2 methods. What are the other 2 methods? First in, first out, FIFO, 先进先出法. Second one, weighted average cost, 加权平均法. Yes. This one? I will tell you. Because for rare cases, like a Tiffany company, they sold diamond, right? They were new which diamond was sold. This one, I will tell you. I will tell you. So, okay, I will tell you from these 2. Yeah, because that's the only way you know which one was sold. Okay? So that's from these 2 days is given. Okay? Okay, these 2 methods, because most of cases, we don't know which one was sold. Since you don't know the true situation, right? So what could we do? Make assumptions. We assume, pretend something, okay? So that's why I here told you is assumptions, 假设. We don't know the true situation, so we make assumptions, 假设. Okay? This assumption, we assume which one was sold. So this assumption, we call it cost flow assumptions, 成本流动假设. We use it to assume which one was sold. Okay? So 2 methods, 2 assumptions. We make different kind of assumptions. Cost flow assumptions, 成本流动假设. we assume which one was sold. Okay? So we don't know the true situation. We assume which one was sold. We don't know the true situation. Okay? So even though based on these assumptions, we pretend it is, it's not the true situation. So that's why it's unrelated to the physical flow of goods, which means it's unrelated to true situations because we don't know the true situation. That's why we make assumptions. So unrelated to the physical flow of goods. So unrelated to true situation. We don't know it. Okay? So these two methods are two assumptions. Each one, they assume different situation. So let's look at the first one. First in, first out. So what's the assumption we have? First in, first out, we assume earliest inventory purchase was first to be sold. So we assume first inventory was sold first. So we assume first inventory you purchased was first to be sold. Okay? So that's why first in, first out. First in your company, first out to customer. First in, first out. That's our first method, first assumption. We assume first purchase will be sold first. Okay? In other words, if that's your last purchase will be your still in your company, will be your ending inventory, right? Okay. So that's why we assume your earliest inventory purchase was sold, right? So when you sold it, when you sell it, become your cost of goods sold, right? So that's how we find out the numbers for your cost of goods sold. How about your last purchase still in your company? Last purchase, most recent purchase still in your company. So become your ending inventory, right? So last purchase, we assume they are unsold. So they are still in your company. They are your ending inventory. Okay? So that's how we get the numbers for cost of goods sold. We get the numbers for cost of ending inventory. Okay? Any questions? So that's why look at this. For example, first purchase, second purchase, third purchase, fourth purchase, last purchase. First in, first out means what? First in will be sold first, right? So they will be sold first. So become first out. So how about your latest purchase? Your last purchase, most recent purchase. Still in your company, right? So they are unsold, still in your company. Become your ending inventory. Okay? So first in, first out. Most purchase, keep in your company. Become your ending inventory. Okay, so that's our first assumptions. We assume first in, first out. Use it to get our cost of goods sold, to get our cost of ending inventory. Okay, let you guess which industry, what kind of company they prefer this assumption. They think this assumption, this method is suitable for their company. What kind of products? First in, first out. Like a food, drink, right? If you are the company like a 7-Eleven, like a family convenience store, of course you hope your food with the expired date will be sold first, right? Because you keep in the company longer, your food will be expired. So this kind of method for companies, they have like a food, medicine, or any products with expired date, 有到期日. Of course, you hope you could sell it first because you are afraid your inventory product will get expired, right? So for this kind of company, they will choose first in, first out, FIFO. Okay? Any questions? No problem? Then let's look at the case right here on slide 29. Here, did you find out how many purchases you have? First purchase right here. Second purchase right here. Third purchase. Fourth purchase. So totally you have 4 purchases. How many units you have? 10 plus 20 plus 30 plus 40. So how many inventory you have? 100, right? So 100 units you have. But you sold your inventory, how many? 55. You sold your inventory 55. Okay? At different unit cost. So could you tell me, based on this data, you sold 55 units from which purchase? Based on FIFO, first in, first out, we sold inventory from first purchase, second purchase, third purchase, so on, right? So based on this, you will sell the inventory from first purchase 10, second purchase 20, so on. Okay? So that's the concept right here. But don't forget, who are you? Based on chapter 5, we have 2 kind of persons, right? What are these 2 kind of persons? Lazy guy, hard worker. Lazy guy, you use periodic 定期盘存制. Hard worker, you use perpetual 永续盘存制, right? Right now, we talk about lazy guy first. So when you are the lazy guy, you use periodic 定期盘存制. Could you tell me when you try to get these 2 numbers? When you try to get the amounts for cost of goods sold, cost of ending inventory? On the last day. Okay? So don't forget who are you. Right now we talk about lazy guy. Since you are the lazy guy, when we try to get these 2 numbers? On the last day, we try to get cost of goods sold, try to get cost of ending inventory on last day. Okay? So we try to compute these 2 numbers on last day. It's quite important because later on we will tell you when you are the hard worker, perpetual, 永续盘存制, then you try to get these 2 numbers at different dates. Okay? Since you are the lazy guy, when we do that? On last day, okay? So on last day, totally, so you should understand, you try to get these two numbers on last day. So we do it, try to get it on last day. Try to get two numbers. First is cost of ending inventory. Second is cost of goods sold. We try to get these two numbers on last day, okay? And we use assumption is FIFO, first in, first out. So first in, first out told you, you sold 55 units from where? Start from first purchase. First purchase 10 units is enough? No, you totally sold 55 units, right? So you should go to second purchase, 20. Is enough? No. So you should go to the third purchase. But third purchase totally 30 units. You sold all of them? No. You just need how many? 25, right? So based on the 30 purchase, you just sold 25, which means you still have how many in your company? 5, right? So unsold should be 5 units. Okay? How about the last purchase? 40. These are in your companies. So you still have 40 on your company unsold. Okay? Based on this, could you get cost of goods sold, cost of ending inventory? You could do that, right? So 5 units from where? From August 24. 40 units from November 27, right? So that's why for your ending inventory, 5 units from August 24, 5 units. 40 units from November 22nd. Okay? Each one, they have a different unit cost. So based on the unit you still in your company, based on different unit cost, could you get the total numbers? Yes, right? So you will find out your total cost of ending inventory. How much? $5,800. Okay? How about your cost of goods sold? You could base on 3 purchases. So 3 purchases. First purchase, how much? From first purchase, you sold 10 units times unit cost 100. From second purchase, have a 20 unit. Each one have a unit cost $110. From your third purchase, you just sold 25 units. Each one unit cost is $120. Okay? So based on these 3, you will find out your cost of goods sold should be $6,200. That's your cost of goods sold. Any questions? So you could find out first purchase, second purchase, third purchase. Or you could use another way. What's another way? Remember how to get cost of goods sold? Total inventory you have minus any inventory you got cost of goods sold, right? So there's another method you can get cost of goods sold. Total inventory you have $12,000 minus any inventory from here. Then you will get cost of goods sold. So there's another way you will find out cost of goods sold. So this is another way you will find out your cost of goods sold. Use your formula. Any questions? Okay, if you don't have any questions, please finish your note on page 5 and page 6. Page 5 and page 6, then you can take a break. Page 5, when you use specific identification, 个别辨认法. Page 6, when you use FIFO, 先进先出法. Also, you are lazy guy, periodic, 定期盘存制. So you're trying to get these two numbers on last day. Please finish page 5 and page 6.